What if the most spectacular celestial event in a decade was a lie? In early 2020, a comet named Atlas was on track to become a generational spectacle, a beacon in the night sky. But then, it shattered into pieces and vanished. The official story is that it was just a fragile ball of ice. But the truth is far weirder. Its disintegration was a clue that points to a much larger mystery involving strange visitors and uncomfortable questions that one Harvard astronomer insists we can no longer ignore. Let's explore this together.
Comet Atlas Mystery.
Let's start with the comet that promised everything and then disappeared, C/2019 Y4, or Atlas. Discovered on December 28, 2019 by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, this comet initially caused a frenzy. Its brightness was increasing at an astonishing rate, leading astronomers to predict it could reach a magnitude of -5 by May 2020, potentially becoming as bright as Venus and visible during the day. But then, in early April, something went wrong. Instead of brightening, it stalled and then began to fade rapidly. Astronomer Quanji Ye of the University of Maryland led a team using the Hubble Space Telescope to get a closer look. On April 20th, Hubble revealed the truth. The comet's nucleus had shattered into a trail of more than 24 small, icy fragments, some no larger than a house. A second fragmentation event was observed just 3 days later. Interestingly, astronomers calculated its orbit to be nearly identical to the Great Comet of 1844, suggesting both Atlas and the 1844 comet are fragments of a much larger parent body that broke apart some 5,000 years ago as it passed the Sun. The sudden and catastrophic breakup of Atlas served as a stark reminder of how volatile and unpredictable these cosmic visitors can be.
The wow signal.
Before we saw comets disintegrate, we heard a sound we couldn't explain. Think about this. On August 15, 1977, astronomer Jerry R. Amon was using Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope when he detected a signal so powerful and so unusual that he circled its alphanumeric code 6EQUJ5 on the printout and wrote, "Wow." The signal lasted for 72 seconds, perfectly matching the time the telescope's beam was aimed at that specific patch of sky, indicating a fixed source. It was an extremely narrow-band signal at a frequency of 1420.4556 MHz, just a fraction away from the natural hydrogen line, a frequency many scientists, including Carl Sagan, theorized an advanced civilization would use. The signal was incredibly strong, peaking at over 30 times the background noise of deep space. Despite decades of searching by researchers like Robert Gray, who's conducted multiple follow-up surveys with more advanced equipment, we have never detected it again. Astronomer Antonio Paris later proposed the signal could have come from a comet's hydrogen cloud, but this was widely refuted, as comets don't emit such strong, narrow-band signals. The WOW signal remains the single most compelling piece of evidence for a potential extraterrestrial intelligence.
Meet Avi Loeb.
So, who has the courage to connect these dots? Enter Avi Loeb. He isn't some fringe theorist, he's a theoretical physicist and the former chair of Harvard's astronomy department, a position he held for a record 9 years. As the founding director of Harvard's Black Hole Initiative and chair of the advisory committee for the Breakthrough Starshot Initiative, he is deeply immersed in the most advanced concepts in physics. He approaches cosmic mysteries like a detective, arguing that we must follow the evidence, no matter how uncomfortable the conclusion. In his book, Extraterrestrial, he makes the case that clinging to familiar explanations for cosmic anomalies is a failure of imagination. He criticizes what he calls an intellectual lockdown in academia, which prioritizes consensus over exploring anomalies. Through his Galileo project, he now aims to build a network of advanced telescopes and AI algorithms to systematically search for extraterrestrial artifacts. This initiative aims to take the study of UAP out of the hands of government and into the realm of transparent, open science, ensuring the next strange visitor doesn't get away without a high-resolution photo.
Oumuamua, discovered.
While Comet Atlas was a visitor from our own distant Oort cloud, another visitor came from much farther away and, well, broke all the rules. On October 19, 2017, astronomer Robert Warwick, using the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope, spotted something totally unprecedented. An object, designated 1I/2017 U1 and named Oumuamua, which is Hawaiian for a messenger from afar arriving first. Its trajectory was hyperbolic, meaning it was moving at a blistering 26.33 kilometers per second, or nearly 60,000 miles per hour, relative to the sun, far too fast to be captured by our sun's gravity. For comparison, our fastest departing spacecraft, Voyager 1, travels at only about 17 kilometers per second. It had already made its closest approach to the sun on September 9th and was discovered on its way out, about 33 million kilometers from Earth. By January 2018, it had faded beyond the reach of even the Hubble Space Telescope. Its dark, reddish color was similar to objects in the outer solar system, but its journey through interstellar space should have changed its surface composition. The discovery of this unique object, the first of its kind, hinted that the galaxy was sending us messages we were only just beginning to see.
Strange behavior.
Here's where things get really bizarre. As Oumuamua passed the sun, it did something that honestly defied physics as we know it for a natural object. It accelerated. A team led by astronomer Marco Micheli of the European Space Agency confirmed a slight but persistent push away from the sun, causing it to deviate from its expected path by over 40,000 kilometers. This is normal for comets, but as confirmed by astronomer Karen Meach's team, Oumuamua had no tail. The Spitzer Space Telescope stared at it, setting some pretty stringent limits that ruled out outgassing of carbon-based molecules down to just a few kilograms per second, which is far too little to explain the observed acceleration. On top of that, its shape was extreme. As it tumbled every 7.7 hours, its brightness changed by a factor of 10, a ratio unseen in any of the hundreds of thousands of objects in our solar system. This implied it was either cigar-shaped or, more likely, a flat, pancake-like object no more than a few millimeters thick. Comet expert Zdenek Sekanina proposed it could be a fragment from a larger body, but this still doesn't explain the complete lack of a coma or its extreme proportions.
Light sail theory.
When the data doesn't fit the theory, you need a new theory. Avi Loeb, along with his colleague Shmuel Bialy, published a paper that sent shockwaves through the astronomy world. They proposed the most straightforward, yet most profound explanation. Oumuamua was an artifact of an alien civilization. They argued its acceleration could be explained by solar radiation pressure, sunlight itself pushing it. For this to work, the object would have to be incredibly thin, like a sail. A light sail. This idea was bolstered by the 2020 discovery of 2020 SO, which turned out to be the 10-meter-long Centaur rocket booster from the 1966 Surveyor 2 mission, a known man-made object showing similar acceleration. While other scientists like Alan Jackson and Steve Desch proposed Oumuamua could be a nitrogen iceberg chipped off a Pluto-like exoplanet, Loeb argues that such an object would have sublimated away over its long interstellar journey. Furthermore, a nitrogen berg would have to originate from a very specific and rare type of exoplanet system, making it a highly improbable explanation. The light sail theory remains the only one that elegantly explains all of Oumuamua's anomalies.
Universe age debate.
You know, the weirdness isn't just with visitors, it's really baked into the fabric of the universe itself. For decades we've relied on the standard lambda CDM model, which has told us the universe is about 13.8 billion years old. But, oh boy, the James Webb Space Telescope is now challenging that notion. Under the guidance of senior project scientists like John C. Mather, the JWST is finding galaxies at a redshift of Z greater than 10. This means we see them as they were just 300 to 400 million years after the Big Bang. A team led by Rohan Naidu of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics has identified candidates like Glass Z Trine. These galaxies appear far too massive and mature for their age. Current models of galaxy formation require billions of years of mergers and star formation to reach that level of complexity. So, these findings have led some scientists, like Rajendra Gupta, to propose that the universe might actually be 26.7 billion years old. His model incorporates the tired light hypothesis, which suggests that light loses energy over cosmic distances. While this idea is controversial, the fact that JWST is forcing a re-evaluation of our most fundamental cosmological model is, well, a scientific revolution in itself. A much older universe would make the idea of ancient spacefaring civilization seem far more plausible, wouldn't it?
NASA spy agency.
While we look to the stars for answers, there are plenty of mysteries right here on Earth. In 2018, Executive Order 13849 from the Trump administration quietly reclassified some of NASA's functions. What's the real story? NASA Watch founder Keith Cowing pointed out that the order's primary purpose was likely related to labor laws. However, it's naive to think NASA doesn't have a national security role. They frequently launch satellites for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO, the agency whose very existence was classified until 1992. This collaboration dates back to the Cold War with programs like the Manned Orbiting Laboratory, or MOL, a secret Air Force space station that used NASA-like hardware for surveillance. This blurring of lines creates public skepticism. When the government is known to keep secrets about space technology, it makes it harder for the public to trust official explanations for unusual phenomena like UAPs or strange comets. It fosters a climate where extraordinary claims can feel more plausible than official denials.
Interstellar visitors.
The discovery of comets like Atlas is becoming more common, and these same automated sky surveys are now finding interstellar objects. On August 30th, 2019, amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov discovered our second interstellar visitor, 2I Borisov. It was moving at a blistering 32 kilometers per second and had a massive coma and tail. Spectroscopic analysis by a team led by Dennis Bodowitz of Auburn University revealed an unusually high abundance of carbon monoxide, at least 9 to 26 times higher than typical solar system comets. This suggests it formed in a very cold, carbon-rich environment far from its parent star, a region analogous to our Kuiper Belt but perhaps even colder. With a nucleus of only about 1 kilometer, its normal cometary behavior was crucial. It provided a perfect baseline that showed us what a natural interstellar object looks like. By contrasting it with Oumuamua, it only made the first visitor seem stranger. As planetary scientist David Jewett has calculated, there could be thousands of these objects passing through our solar system at any given time, most too small and dark for us to see.
Humanity and war.
If we do have cosmic neighbors, what would they think of us? This brings us to a chilling story from March 13, 1975. A pilot named Carlos Antonio de los Santos Montiel, flying a Piper PA-24 Comanche near Mexico City, reported his plane was flanked by 3 UFOs. He claimed to have received a telepathic warning. Humans are one of the only species in the universe that still engages in war. This touches on the Great Filter Hypothesis, popularized by Nick Bostrom, and the Kardashev scale, developed by Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev, which classifies civilizations by energy use. A species that can't move beyond internal conflict, or a Type 0 civilization like ours, would likely never reach Type 1 status. The Doomsday Clock, maintained by the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists since 1947, is a real-world metric of this danger. Perhaps advanced civilizations operate under a non-interference policy with volatile species. This would frame our global conflicts not just as a human problem, but as a potential cosmic barrier preventing our entry into a galactic community. From the broken promise of Comet Atlas to a mysterious signal from the stars, the evidence is mounting that our universe is far stranger than we imagine. The story of Atlas reminds us how much we still have to learn, while the puzzle of Oumuamua, championed by the brilliant and brave Avi Loeb, forces us to confront the possibility that we have been visited. It's a cosmic detective story where the clues point to a conclusion that is both terrifying and exhilarating. Are we on the verge of the greatest discovery in human history? The universe is speaking to us. The only question is whether we are ready to listen. Thank you for joining us on Space Facts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the mysteries of our cosmos. See you next time. Thanks for watching Space Facts.